Oh yeah. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me in my kitchen. My name is Lyle. This is my channel, Boring Old Guy. You never know what a boring old guy might get up to. It's the holiday season and it's a great time for baking. And I'm going to make an old favorite of mine today, my oat pumpkin muffins. And I'm going to be using my old friend, my cast iron muffin tin. Now, if you don't have a cast iron muffin tin, any old muffin tin will do. You can use the paper liners. You can do it without, whatever makes you happy. I spray mine with a little bit of avocado oil, put my batter right inside and bake it without the liners. That's the way I like it. Anyway, let me show you how I make these. Now you could call this a gluten-free recipe. You just use oats and oat flour. And I am out of my oat flour and I haven't made it down to the store to restock from the bin section yet. So I'm going to use my grinder and grind it, and I'm going to use equal parts, 1.5 cups of oat flour, 1.5 cups of oats. So I find that if I fill this and grind it down, that gives me a good 1.5 cups of flour. Now, there isn't an exact science to this. It's a forgiving recipe. All my recipes are forgiving because I'm no master baker. Anyway, let me grind this down and we'll move on to the next step. All right, so we'll just empty the contents directly into my mixing bowl. And then you get 1.5 cups of whole oats. A little more, okay, there we go. Next, we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. All right. 1. Come on. There you go. And 1/2. All right. Next, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, I'm using a fine grind sea salt here. You can use pretty much any salt that you like. I wouldn't use iodized salt, just a pure salt. And a fine grind is probably going to suit you better than a coarse as far as just mixing into the blend. All right, next, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of a pumpkin spice. Now that is because I'm not using like a pumpkin pie mix for this. I'm using just pure pumpkin. I guess if you had a pumpkin pie mix and you wanted to use it, that would be fine. I would just eliminate adding the spice. Okay. All right, next I'm going to add 1/4 cup of dried cranberries. And you could use pretty much anything you have. I like the dried cranberries just because of that, that little bit of tart that it gives. I like that. And I'm just going to make sure that these aren't stuck together, that they're broken up. Now you could use raisins, you could use craisins, you could use sweetened cranberries, suit yourself, right? But this is what I like. All right, so next, I'm going to chop up some pecans and put in here. Pecans. All right, so I have some chopped pecans, but I'm going to just chop them up a little bit more. I just want fine pieces. And 1/4 cup. Yeah, that looks about right. Get a chopper. And start chopping. All right, so I'm just chopping these to get rid of the bigger pieces. You don't have to make it fine. If you wanted to leave the pieces more coarse, you know, that's up to you. Go ahead. All right, you're making these for yourself, so make yourself happy. If you don't want to use pecans, you could use walnuts, you can use almonds. You don't have to use nuts at all. But I like the pecans, so I put them in. All right, and that is it. We're going to just mix the dry ingredients together here and set them aside and start mixing up the wet. You can see I've got just a really chunky dry mix. Right? A little bit of flour showing through, but lots of chunks. It's going to give you something you can really bite into. All right, another sip. Went to bed with a little bit of a cough last night. Woke up with a little bit of a sore throat this morning. I mean, it's the middle of December and I haven't had a cold yet, so I guess I'm due. All right, so 2 large eggs. I'm going to start off this wet mix. All right, and we're going to beat them lightly. And we'll just use the same whisk. Now you're just breaking up the egg yolks. Okay, to our eggs, we'll add a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. Next, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup pure pumpkin puree. Now, like I say, I've never tried this using pumpkin pie mix, but I don't see why you couldn't do it and just, you know, leave all of the other spices out, probably including the vanilla, right? Anyway, need a spatula and a measuring device. 1/2 cup, 1/2 cup. That's 1/2 cup, isn't it? Oh, it's 1/3 of a cup. All right. 1/2 cup. All right. Almost. All right. There we go. You see, exact measurements don't really matter. All right, get that, scrape it off. All right, we'll set that aside for now. We'll get this mixed together. All right, next we're going to add 1 1/4 cup of milk. All right. 1 1/4 cup. Here we are. And give that a mix too. Just doing a basic blend on these. You don't have to completely emulsify everything. It's just going to get added to the dry mix and mixed together there too. But it doesn't take long to incorporate it all. All right, next, 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. What have I got there? Hey, that is a 1/4 cup right there. So this is your sweetener. Now, you don't have maple syrup, you want to use brown sugar. That'll work. You could use honey, right? I'd say if you're going to use the sugar, brown sugar, I would use half of this amount, so 1/8 of a cup. But honey could be 1/4 of a cup as well. All right, there's that, and that is going to finish off our wet ingredients. And we'll get these things combined. All right. Here we go. Dump it in. Might as well get every little last bit of goodness out of there, right? All right, there we go. Yeah, scrape that off. And whisk. All right, let's just get things blended together here. You can see I'm going to end up with a little bit of a wetter mix, and that's what you want. Just blend it until you can't see any more of the oat flour. All right, there you have it. All right, it's going to be nice and wet. That's what you want. All right, we're going to come over to the oven. We're going to set it at 350. There we go. And we're going to put the muffin tin in. So the cast iron needs to preheat for best results. Hey everybody, it's actually a couple of days later. I was getting ready to put the oven on to preheat for the muffins, and I got a phone call, and it was about this girl right here. So what happened is my neighbor had a friend who died about 6 weeks ago, and she left a little dog behind. This is Chloe. Chloe is, I'm told, a 5-plus-year-old lab mix, and she looks like she's got some terrier in her as well. She's probably about a 50-pound dog. Just the sweetest and cuddliest girl you've ever seen. She thinks she's a lap dog. She just wants to be in your lap with her head on your chest and nuzzling you. She is just a sweetheart. So I agreed to take her in and foster her. Yes, we are looking for a permanent home for Chloe. So if you live in the Northwest and you are looking for a fur baby companion, let me know. I'd be perfectly willing to drive, meet you halfway, deliver her. I mean, this is a sweet girl that needs a forever home. Her human companion was in poor health and didn't give her a lot of training, but she definitely knows what no means. She's definitely housebroken. She knows what get down and stay and sit and, you know, the basic commands. You know, but I've found she's a pretty quick learner. She was actually used to going in and out of the house on her own. She had a dog door, and she's quickly picked up on asking me to go outside. I don't have dog door here. So yeah, she's very sweet, very smart. Please help me find Chloe a forever home. Thank you very much. Let's get back to our muffins. So when I got the phone call about Chloe, I just put some wrap over the top of this batter and put it in the refrigerator. So what has happened is there's still quite a bit of moisture, but the oats have sucked up a lot of that moisture that was in there. So I'm going to use this cookie scoop to fill up my muffin tin. Let me show you what this looks like now. So you can see that it has solidified to a large degree, but it's very pliable still. You know, and I think I'm actually going to like working with this batter a little bit more now that it's had a chance to soak up some of that moisture. All right, so our 350 degree temperature oven has come up to temp. Let's get that muffin pan out. And I've got a hot mitt down here to lay it on. There we go. All right, so I'm going to spray down the inside of the muffin cups with an avocado oil. Now, the thing I like about avocado oil is it has a very high smoke point, which is something like 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and it does not have a flavor that it's going to pass on to the muffins, right? It is flavorless. All right. Now what I'm going to do with the mixture is just evenly distribute it. And this muffin pan holds 11 muffin cups. It's just the nature of the beast. I mean, most muffin pans are going to hold 6 or 12, right? But I'm just going to evenly distribute this. All right, getting down to the end here. And I think I really like this. You know, I was wondering in the past if I let this sit overnight, what would happen? Well, now I know. I actually like it better. So I'm going to start doing this from now on. Just leave it in the refrigerator for a day. Yeah, this was 2 days actually, but I think 1 day would be fine. At least, you know, I know it's going to hold up just fine in the refrigerator, even if I get called away on a dog emergency and have to leave it for a couple of days. All right, so I'm just going to keep working at this. Just, you know, it doesn't have to be exact, of course. You know, I'm just trying to get things evenly distributed so the muffins are close to the same size, right? All right, there we go. Now we're going to put this into the oven and cook it for 25 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. And I will see you in 25 minutes. Okay, it's been 25 minutes and these things smell fantastic. All right, so I am going to clear that off and we'll get these things out of the oven. Oh boy, they look good. And they smell fantastic. Oh my goodness. All right. Looks like I didn't do a fantastic job of getting things evenly distributed, but I'll give you a closer look and see what these guys look like. Oh, yum. All right. You see some of them rose a little more than others, and I think that's just because of the amount of batter that was in there. But these things pull out of the muffin cup pretty easily once they're cooled. So I'm going to let these guys cool off for 10-15 minutes, and then we'll pull one out and give it a taste test. Oh my God. The pumpkin and the spices just smack you in the nose. So they pull out of the cups really easily once they cool a little bit. The steam coming out. They're still really hot. Oh, I love this recipe. Oh, that's so good. Yum. I think I know what I'm having for lunch. Oh, all right. So I sure hope you make these. Give the recipe a try. You're not going to be disappointed, I promise you. So, until next time, please help me find a home for Chloe. All right? And be blessed. Happy holidays. What do you think, Miss Chloe? Hi, sweetie. Oh, what a good girl you are. What a sweet face. Just look at that face. There's a jealous one. Oh, my goodness. She just wants to get into your lap. Yeah, what a sweetie. Gets along really well with Summit. And Charlie. How you, bud? You big old doofus.